The flashing lights of dozens of cameras obscured Heughan and Caitriona Balfe as they walked out of a late-night recording session. The door opened and a crowd of journalists swarmed in, their questions pounding like hammers. "Sam, are you really avoiding Caitriona? Caitriona, is your longtime friendship broken? There are rumors that you two are no longer communicating behind the scenes, is that true?" They paused, glanced at each other, their eyes a mixture of exhaustion and determination. The rumors had been swirling around them for months, each day adding new waves, as if the world was just waiting for a collapse. Sam pursed his lips, quickening his pace, while Caitriona kept a faint smile, trying to hide her tension. Recorders, cameras, phones pointed at them from all sides. They were like two preys trapped in a never-ending hunt. "We have nothing to say," Sam blurted out, his voice cold but his eyes gleaming with protection. He knew that if they stopped to explain, everything would be twisted, turned into new fuel for the sensational pages. Caitriona placed a hand lightly on Sam's arm, signaling for calm. She whispered, so only he could hear, "Don't let them win." Together they walked straight to the waiting car, leaving behind the sea of screaming people. The car door slammed shut, cutting off the noisy world outside. The air in the car was thick, except for the heavy breathing of the two of them. Sam leaned his head back against the seat, eyes half closed. When will this end? Caitriona was silent, looking out the window where the flashlights still flashed in the darkness. She knew that, whether they kept quiet or spoke up, the rumors would never completely disappear. But in the midst of that whirlpool, they still had one support, that was their trust in each other. She leaned in and said softly, "When we stop caring, then it's just us, Sam." In that moment, the noise outside seemed to fade away, giving way to a truth that no journalist could exploit: their friendship, their bond, the quiet strength they had for each other, despite the rumors. But then, a new message lit up on Caitriona's phone. A sensational headline, this time even more powerful, was starting to circulate. The car sped off into the night, leaving behind a sea of chasing paparazzi. But the silence in the car didn't last long. Caitriona's phone rang again, the screen glowing with a series of new notifications. The headlines caught her eye. Heughan and Caitriona Balfe. Irreparable rift? Cold moments caught behind the scenes. Caitriona sighed softly, her hand tightening on the phone. Sam leaned over to look at her, his face tense. "We can never escape them. No matter what we do, they'll turn it into a different story." Caitriona put the phone down on the seat, her eyes looking out the window. The streetlights slid down, leaving her feeling lost. "Sam, if we keep quiet, they'll make up more stories. I'm afraid that one day, the audience will believe what they write, instead of the truth." Sam frowned, his voice low. "The price of fame, but I swear I won't let you bear it alone. If necessary, we will speak up. But not in the way they want." The next day, they appeared on the set again. The atmosphere there was familiar, but it seemed like everyone was looking at them with more curiosity than usual. Every step, every look, even the unintentional distance between the two of them could become evidence for the press to fabricate. During the break, an assistant brought Caitriona a new magazine. The cover was bold: Sam and Caitriona, Friendship or Enmity. Along with it were a series of collaged photos, depicting them avoiding each other while filming. Caitriona clutched the magazine, her lips trembling with anger. Sam walked over, gently took it from her hand, and threw it on the table. "They want us to be angry. They want us to lose control. Don't give them what they need." But at that moment, a strange reporter appeared right outside the studio. He raised his camera high, trying to capture Sam placing his hand on Caitriona's shoulder to calm her down. And then, the next day, the photo was all over the internet with the caption, "Sam trying to control Caitriona amid backstage tension?" Rumors piled on rumors, like rolling waves. Late one night, as the two left the studio, they suddenly noticed a group of reporters waiting. The car was stopped, the flashbulbs blinding their eyes. Questions were shouted continuously. Sam, is it true that you and Caitriona have broken up? Caitriona, is Sam looking for a new co-star because he can't stand the conflict? Do you have something to hide from the audience? Sam angrily opened the door and stepped out. He rarely showed emotion in front of the press, but this time his voice rang out, resolute. Enough. We are not puppets for you to manipulate. Our friendship is not for anyone to entertain. The reporters were noisier, but in Caitriona's eyes, that moment made her understand. Sam was willing to face the world as long as he protected the truth. However, the storm did not stop. A week later, a blurry video appeared on social media, seemingly recording the scene of Sam and Caitriona fiercely arguing backstage. The video quickly went viral, becoming undeniable evidence that their relationship had broken down. Caitriona sat in front of her computer screen, watching the malicious comments flooding in. Her heart felt heavy. Sam, I'm tired. Maybe they won. Sam walked over, put his hand on her shoulder, his eyes determined. No, they never won. You know that video was edited. And I believe, one day, the truth will speak. We just have to continue doing what we believe is right. The next day, they appeared together at a big event. In front of hundreds of reporters, Sam and Caitriona walked side by side, without a gap. When asked, Caitriona smiled, her eyes shining. We were, are, and will always be friends. The rumors out there cannot change that. Sam continued, his voice firm. People can write whatever they want. But the only truth is that we are here, together, not shaken by rumors. At that moment, the flash of light exploded like a meteor shower. But this time, Sam and Caitriona were no longer shying away. They stood there, backs straight, facing all the cameras, not to prove to the press, but to prove to themselves. No rumor could break that bond. However, in the wings of the event, a stranger quietly observed, holding a thick document in his hand. A sinister smile crossed his lips. New photos, more elaborately staged evidence, were ready to be released. Little did Sam and Caitriona know, what they were about to face was only the beginning. The battle between truth and rumor was long, and the media maelstrom would not let up easily. And in the moment the stage lights went out, there was only a suspicious silence left. And in the moment the spotlight went out, leaving only a surprising silence. In the darkness, the man and the woman flipped through the photos in the file, their faces clearly visible under the dim light from the hallway. Not a stranger as they thought, but a familiar mirror in their minds. A former manager fired for a scandal many years ago. He had worked closely with both Sam and Caitriona, but after being kicked out of the industry, he had vanished without a trace. Now, the fire returned, bringing with it a pent-up anger and a sophisticated plan to turn the two brightest stars into victims in the media game of Cheon-doi. In the file were cleverly edited photos, fake emails, even edited audio recordings. All were prepared with a dual technique to be released at the right time, like a spark to ignite a storm of public opinion. In another corner of the city, Sam and Caitriona sat together in the quiet room. They had just had a long, stressful night, and thought that at least things had calmed down. Sam looked out the window, his eyes hazy. I have a feeling, someone is controlling everything. This isn't just any coin anymore, Kate. Caitriona was quick on her feet, her instincts were telling her the same thing. The recent articles were too organized, too timely, to be mere coincidences. But who was behind it all? The answer was still unclear. While out there, the undercover agent was ready to make his next move. The undercover agent knew the weak spots, knew how to exploit any semblance of a clue, and above all, dangerously understood that the fakes were more likely to believe in dramatic scenarios than simple truths. The real battle was just beginning. And this time, Sam and Caitriona have to face not only the gossipers, but also a hidden enemy, once an acquaintance, now a shadow covering their lives. The door of fate has opened, and behind it is a maze full of traps.